Hi, I'm Chef Salvador from A1 Cantina.
And Rodrigo Rodas from A1 Cantina and Native Tongues.
Today we're gonna make a 3-course menu. This is for Valentine's. I specifically chose these 3 dishes because it's something I a lot of my culture back in Mexico, all my roots, and I'm trying to express every time I cook. This specific time I try to go with something not too heavy, something approachable, something easy to make, to have some fun, to make it special for your special one. And of course, it's something that my wife loves. So it's kind of easy for me just going this way. It's a safe way to do it. We're gonna start with this dish called Aguachila. And it's pretty much a dish full of flavors, a lot of citric, a lot of freshness in the dish. And we're gonna have 2 main proteins, which is gonna be amaebi shrimp and rockfish. To start, we're gonna use a blender. We're gonna blend all the ingredients and we're gonna strain them through a fine mesh to get all the liquid, to make it super, super thin.
At home you can use any strainer, right?
You can use any strainer, but I rather use this one to make it more finer. So to start with this aguachile, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break all our cilantro. This is 1 bunch of cilantro. You can always save a couple leaves for presentation at the end. We're gonna add our cucumbers. This is half cucumber, around 180, 190 grams of cucumber. It's just roughly chopped. We want all the flavor from it. Okay. We're gonna add our serrano pepper. Serrano pepper tends to be a little bit spicy. You can go even more or less, depending on how spicy you like things. We're gonna add our apple cider vinegar, which is 3 ounces. And we're gonna finish with lime juice. It's gonna be 150 milliliters.
Wonderful.
And of course, a little bit of salt, about 10 grams. Now we're good. So we're gonna blend all our ingredients. And we're gonna strain it. This is all the liquid we're gonna use for our dish. As I was telling you, it's super, super fresh, spicy, citric. That's what we're gonna add into our final dish. On the meantime, while Chef Rodrigo is straining this liquid, we're gonna go to our main proteins for the dish. So we're gonna cut our proteins. What we're gonna do is just cut in strips. And then we're gonna dice it up. And we're gonna put our proteins into a container. And we are gonna cover with lime juice. What we're gonna accomplish with the lime juice is just breaking down all the proteins, kind of cook it with the acidity of the lime juice. And we're gonna let it sit there for at least 15-20 minutes just to get the best result. For our amaebi, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna peel them off. So as soon as we peel off our shrimp or our amaebi prawns, we're just gonna cut them in half, like so. We're gonna take off that tiny black vein. And we're gonna do the same as the rockfish. We're just gonna soak them in the lime juice. We're trying to achieve the same principle, just cook it on the acidity of the lime juice. And we're gonna let it sit for a couple minutes there. Okay, so now that we have all the ingredients and we left the protein soaking in the lime juice, we're gonna proceed to plate up our dish. First of all, we're gonna take the proteins off the lime juice. As you can tell, color changed. they look kind of harder. They look more, the colors are like more saturated.
The shrimp look inside, it looks pale instead of translucent. The fish looks whiter.
You can tell how it changed. And this is what we want to achieve. Let's try not to take too much of the lime juice, since we already have some on the sauce. And we're going to proceed to add all of the ingredients with the sauce. For this aguachile, we're gonna need diced cucumbers, cherry tomato in wedges, julienne red onion, and we're gonna add some salt. I have the radishes here. I just added at the very end. So we're gonna mix our ingredients and we're gonna add our sauce. As you can tell, there's a very strong color. It's a very, very green dish.
Very important, when you blend the cilantro, don't overblend. When you see all the cilantro getting together with the sauce and becoming green, bright green like this, stop blending and strain. Otherwise, the cilantro oxidizes and it becomes very dark. You won't have that bright color and flavor.
And now we're gonna proceed to the plate up, finishing the dish. We're gonna put our ingredients in a bowl. Any kind of bowl works. Why in a bowl? Just because we wanna add some of the sauce so it can be all together. You can even plate it in maybe into a cup or something, just to give some height, just to make it a little bit different.
Make sure you use all your sauce. That's gonna be an essential part of the flavor for this dish.
We're gonna add now a little bit more salt, of course, just to finish, top it off, make sure everything is good. We're gonna add some of our radish slices. And we're gonna top it off with some cilantro. And of course, we're gonna present it with some tortilla chips, fresh tortilla chips, to make it better, make it easier to eat, and just enjoy. So we're gonna continue with our main dish. This dish is called Mexi Lapika, and it's basically a tamal kind of dish. We put our ingredients into a corn leaf, and I'm gonna show you how to use these corn leaves. These corn leaves are super dry, as you can tell, really, really hard. And in order to get them soft and more flexible, we're gonna dip them in hot water, like Chef Rod is doing it. It doesn't take too long. All we have to do is just hydrate our corn leaves.
As you can see, it's completely flexible now. So that's when it's ready.
I always like to take some like small strips from the leaves in order to close our Mexi Lapika, just for presentation. What we're gonna do is we have our fillet. We're just gonna cut it in half, like so. And we're gonna do some small cuts just to make it easier for the cooking. You don't have to go all the way through. I left the skin for flavor. That's all you have to do. So you can tell, they're just separated, not all the way through. So, what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do next is we're gonna put our rainbow trout on our corn leaf, or tatomochle. We're gonna add some salt. We're gonna add some of our julienne red onions. We're gonna add some of our tomato in wedges, some fresh corn kernels, and we're gonna do some herb oil. You don't have to go too strong. on this oil, just enough to add some more fat to our dish. That should be enough. So we're gonna wrap this up and we're gonna cook it on a hot surface. You can use the grill, you can use a hot pan, you can use like almost any kind of cooking method you want to use. Even if you want to bake it, it works. But what we're trying to achieve is this smoky flavor. So in order to close it, as you can see it, it's there. Just gonna go one layer, the second layer on top. And with these pieces I left on the side, we're just gonna tie a knot. One on the bottom to avoid all the ingredients to escape.
It's quite similar to a papillote, right? To a steamed fish. So you want all the liquids, all the juices to stay inside and create this atmosphere inside to cook the fish, right? And for all the flavors to come together. So that's the point of this particular recipe, and that's why it has an exclusive and very important and different flavor.
So the reason why I chose this dish, it's because it reminds me of Mexico City, my beloved city. And it's a very unique flavor. It's not very common to find in every Mexican restaurant. It's like very specific from some people. Some people don't even know this dish. And it's super basic, super flavorful. And as I was telling you, what I'm trying to achieve here is to get this smoky flavor and just get it into the fish and into the ingredients themselves. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna cook this Mexi Lapika, and we're just gonna do it on a grill. As you can tell, I didn't add anything to the corn leaf. I'm just gonna toss it in there. I'm just gonna let it cook. When are we gonna know it's cooked? We're just gonna press it. We're gonna fill the fish. The incisions I made into the fish are gonna help it cook faster and make sure it's like 100% cooked. And you just have to see how the color change. It comes from a kind of orangey flavor to orangey color to a pinkish color. For a Mexi Lapika, like the one we made, this is approximately 4 ounces of fish. It's gonna take around 15 to 17 minutes to be ready. Okay, so to continue the plating, or almost the plating for our Mexi Lapika, we're gonna make a side salad, something simple, something pretty basic. I just wanted to show you the right way to open up an avocado. The avocado, what I did, I just went through it, like just cut it once until I felt the seed, and I just went around it. To take or separate the avocado, you kind of just twist it a little bit to get the seed off. And to take the whole seed, you can just tap it with your knife, squeeze, and that's it. Super easy, basic, simple. There are so many ways to take the avocado meat off. For this version, I'm just gonna do some squares on the meat, on the flesh, just to put it on top of our salad. So for our salad, what we're gonna do is we have some spring mix that we're gonna put into a bowl and in a mixing bowl. We're gonna add some olive oil. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, a pinch of salt, and we're gonna mix it. So we're gonna put our mixed greens or our spring mix into a plate where we're gonna plate up the Mexi Lapika. We're gonna get some ingredients, add some flavors. We're gonna do some candied pumpkin seeds, just a few, just to add some sweet flavor into the mix. We're gonna do some of our queso fresco. This is just cheese, white cheese. We're gonna do some yam chips. And we're gonna do some avocado. Some avocado squares, something super simple, super basic. Just to show our better half how we care about their health. And our Mexi Lapika should be ready by now. So this is our Mexi Lapika. As I was telling you, just touch it, kind of press it, make sure it's resistant to the touch. That's how we know it is ready. And in order to plate up, we're just gonna make a small incision. And as soon as I cut this, you can feel all the flavors coming out. You can feel all the aromas. And you can see all this charred smoke into the leaf that is giving the flavor into the fish. So we made something simple and we converted it in something more elaborate. We have more layers of flavor just because of the cooking method we put into this dish. The traditional way to plate up this dish is just on the leaf. You don't have to open it. You can even put the whole thing and anyone can just open it on the dish. Just for presentation, I'm gonna open it up a little bit, take some of the excess corn leaves. I'm gonna add some salt, finishing salt. You can do any kind of salt here. And I'm gonna squeeze a lime juice, like 1 wedge, just to give more acidity. Just gonna put next to our salad. And this is how we present our Mexi Lapika. Okay, so we're gonna continue with our menu. We're gonna finish with this dessert. It's called chocolate truffles. It's pretty basic. Of course, everybody loves chocolate, and of course, your other half or your better half is gonna love chocolate truffles. This is the most basic version of it. It's really simple to make. And you can always tweak it up, make some modifications to the dish. And well, we're just gonna start making it. To start, we're gonna heat up or warm up our heavy cream with some butter. We have around 150 grams of heavy milk. And we have about 1 spoon of butter. Just make sure it warms up. And we're gonna throw our 250 grams of chocolate on top of it. Just let it sit for a minute. And we're gonna move it. We're gonna play with it until it melts all the chocolate. Most important thing, because we want to melt our chocolate, and it has to be really warm in order to do that. Of course, if we need to bring it back into the fire or the induction, you can just bring it back in and just make sure it's completely melted. As soon as our chocolate is completely melted, we're gonna put it on a sheet pan with parchment paper. You can either do parchment paper, you can do some plastic wrap, or you can do one of those non-stick pans. There's different ways to do it. Some people like to get spoons and just do 1 spoon by spoon on the sheet pan, or you can just toss it on top of the sheet pan, expand it a little bit, and just take it to a cooler so it cools down and it makes the chocolate hard again. That's the texture we're trying to achieve, like a very thick chocolate sauce. This is also called a ganache, and it's the base for the truffles. As I was telling you, this is a very basic truffle recipe. You can add some kind of flavors into the chocolate mix, some booze, some whatever flavor you like. Just don't go too hard, because it can be really powerful and kind of kill the taste of the chocolate. So as soon as we put it on the sheet pan, we're gonna take it to a cooler and just cool it down until it kind of gets this hard crust on top of it. Okay, so now that we pull out our chocolate, our melted chocolate from the cooler, we're gonna continue forming our truffles. There's different ways to do it. I found an easy way is with the use of a spoon, any kind of spoon. It depends on the size of the truffles you want to make. I'm gonna take with the spoon some of it. I'm gonna form a little bit of the bowl and just put it there. To mix it, you can use either a spoon, a fork, or even tongs. We have these tiny tongs here. And there we go. Nice, simple, easy, and a perfect way to finish a full menu. In order to preserve this dish, you can just put it in the fridge for a couple minutes in order to get the chocolate hotter, and you can get a better shape. Enjoy.